This is the plaintiff, Nicola. She says she rented a room in the defendant's house and immediately felt like she couldn't do anything without getting moaned at by the defendant. She's an opera singer who wanted to practice once a day for an hour, but the defendant wouldn't hear of it. She told her she had no freedom, had to follow her rules, and then she kicked her out. She's here in the name of what's right, suing this control freak. For the $1,150 the defendant refuses to return to her. This is the defendant, Lynn. She says the woman would wake up in the morning and sing at the top of her lungs for 3 hours every day. This made it impossible for her to meditate, so she politely asked her to go sing on the roof to practice. Bottom line, the plaintiff moved out without giving proper notice. She kept her security, and here they are. She's accused of tossing out a tenor.
All parties, please be ready. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Nicola and Lynn, correct? That's how you want to be referred to. You are suing Nicola to get your security deposit back. You moved in with her when?
On March the 16th.
Okay, and how did you find out about the place?
I found it on Craigslist when I was in England before I came over to America.
Okay, and is this your first time living in America?
No, I was here last year for some time as well, and that's what I did the other times I came.
Okay, so how long did you rent the place for?
We'd arranged that I would live there for 3 months, but after a month I was asked to leave.
All right, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. What were you here 3 months for? Was there a specific...
No, I'm just visiting New York, and I'm an opera singer, so I was here to do some voluntary work and do auditions.
Auditions, okay, I got it. Now, that leads us to the crux of the problem, correct, Lynn?
Mm-hmm.
What was the problem?
So when she moved in with me, I wasn't aware that she would practice every morning.
Did you know she was an opera singer?
Yes.
You just didn't think she'd be practicing in the apartment?
Yes.
Right.
That's correct.
And so what happened?
So, after about a month of her, doing it every morning.
Every morning for how long?
1 to 3 hours.
Okay.
After 2 weeks, actually, when she was living with me, I had a third roommate move in. And, the morning before Nicola left, she mentioned to my roommate that she would be willing to sing on the roof every once in a while.
Why? Did the roommate complain?
I mean, she didn't complain, but
What was the conversation you had with the roommate? First of all, did you know there'd be a third roommate?
No.
Okay.
I was told the day before she was moving in, that she was moving in.
How many bedrooms were there in that place?
3.
And you never told her that you'd rent to a third person who would be in her common area and stuff?
I mean, I tell everybody that, that there's 3 bedrooms and the other bedroom will have somebody living in it.
Okay. And according to you, she didn't?
No.
All right. But did you know there were 3 bedrooms?
I did.
Okay. So now, what's the conversation you have with the other roommate?
Well, she said that she just got a job and it meant that she would work funny hours. So I said, please let me know if the singing ever bothers you, because I'm happy to go on the rooftop sometimes. I don't want to cause any problems.
Okay.
And
had she ever complained and said, I'd rather you not sing, or had she ever?
No, but one time I started at 10 to 10 and I just
A.M.
Yes. And I just got out of the shower and she said, please, will you not start till after 10 a.m.? So I said, because she wanted to do yoga and she needed peace in the apartment. And I said, no problem. But I never practiced for 3 hours. It's not even vocally possible for me to do that.
Well, that's a long time to practice. I thought so too.
So it was always about an hour and an hour and 15 minutes.
Did you know that, do you work out of the house, out of the apartment?
Occasionally, yes.
Occasionally. So normally would you get up and leave and go somewhere for work?
I work at home and then I also, work out of the house as well.
What do you do?
I'm a real estate agent.
Okay. Did you think she'd be gone more or something? Or because I guess if I was going to be belting it out for, give me an example of what it sounds like.
It's not belted.
No, I know, but give me an example of what practice sounds like.
Okay,
I got it. No, it's beautiful. Your voice is beautiful, so don't get me wrong.
I'm so nervous.
No, actually, that was beautiful. But to the other person who's not in the exercise with you, it could be disturbing. But I'm just surprised that we couldn't find some happy medium. Like the roof would sound like incredibly a great.
I had no problem with that. I said I would do that. But
So what happens? Things go bad between you two.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about
for me, there's got to be a little bit of give and take because she works as a DJ as well and she would play her music. And I never had a problem with it. I actually said to her one time, carry on. You know, I'm going to sing at points, so we've got to have a bit of give and take.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very considerate. I'm not selfish.
Was
in my
she
actions.
considerate?
I would say she likes a lot of peace around her. So, but if she wanted to make noise, she did. And I had no problem with that.
Like, because she's a DJ, she would play
the
music.
music was loud.
All right, so what happens when, like, because most people can communicate and work something like this out. So what happened? Tell me your version and then I'll ask you your version.
So it was a Sunday and I was starting to do my exercises and she knocked on the door and asked me if I could not do them. But she really kind of moaned about it.
Like what?
Do you really have to do it?
Okay.
So, but at no point had she actually told me prior to this that it was a problem. At no point. And I did it, I would say 5 days out of 7. It wasn't all the time.
Right.
It wasn't
That's
every
why
day.
I tell my children all the time that it is better to let off a little steam at a time,
Yeah.
you know,
I
to
did it
let
and then
off
I
the
was
steam
out
so it
for the
doesn't
day.
build. But so what did she say that was offensive?
Well, I would do it and then I would go out for the day. I wasn't in very much.
I heard that. But
Right.
what did she say on that day that was...
So she said, I want you to go on the rooftop. So I said, okay, well, can I just do it now because I'm not dressed? So I did it for about another 10 minutes because I thought this is causing a problem. And I stopped and I went out and I actually walked down the road and did my exercises outside.
In the street?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to get the bus and I thought I'm just going to do my exercises on the street then, humming along as I walked along the road. And then I got back in the evening, I went into my room, I put some music on, and that's when she knocked on my door and said, why would you put your music on when I have my music on? And I said, well, I want to listen to my music. So, well, you're just pissed about what I said to you this morning. And I said, no, it's fine, I'll go on the rooftop, but right now I want to play my music. I'm not singing, I just want to play my music. She told me I was being passive aggressive, but actually I felt that she was the one who became aggressive with me. I said to her that I was paying rent and I needed to feel like I could live in the apartment because I was getting text messages about other things, about moving my toothbrush and things like that. So she said, no, you are subletting from me, which means you have no freedom or say in anything that goes on here.
Did you say that?
This is my home.
I would never say that to anyone, that you have no
right,
freedom.
because you understand that you're no better than any other landlord when you sublet. And that person who's paying you rent has a right to play their music,
of course,
et cetera, right?
Of course.
So why were you over there telling her to turn off her music?
She came home and I was playing music in the living room and she stormed into the, walked right past me. And at that point, I didn't realize she was still upset about what happened in the morning. And then I realized, because she didn't say hello to me, she stormed into her room, then turned her music on, which she has never done before, louder than mine.
Okay.
Like a child, like competing, like I'm going to turn my music on now.
Right,
So you can't
which is maybe your first hint that she thought you were rude in the morning.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So then I knocked on her door.
I mean, there's another way to approach this, right? Like, rather than knocking on our door and saying, you're being passive aggressive, the other way to approach it is to have come up to her when she's done doing her last drill and then said to her, listen, can we talk about this? Do you think you could do it on the, there's like another way to get along with people, right?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, but what happens is you go in there and according to you, what do you say?
Can I just also say that when she sang that morning, I ended up leaving the house. So we weren't able.
After you told her to stop singing.
I never told her to stop singing.
Well, what did you do in the morning before
I
you
asked
left
her,
the house? Tell me exactly what you told her.
I asked her if it was Sunday morning and I just wanted to sleep in and have silence. And she started singing and I literally rolled out of bed. And that's partly why I was a little grumpy. I just knocked on her door and I just said, like, do you think you could please sing on the roof this morning? I never told her what to do. I just asked.
And what did she say?
She said, just what she said, that she was not dressed and, can she please just sing in the apartment today? And I said, okay. I wasn't like happy with the decision, but
all right,
I said,
so she comes back, she walks past you, she doesn't say hello, she puts the music on louder and you knock on her door and what happens?
And then she opens the door and I just said, you're acting like a child, like playing your music louder than me. are you upset about this morning? You're being passive aggressive. And that's when she, started saying that I was selfish and not like accommodating. And then that's when I finally was able to get off my chest that she never told me she sang opera in the morning, ever.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. I love this. The opera singer says, I am entitled to practice in this house 1 hour a day during daylight hours. Is she? Is she?
It's all about the agreement.
There's no agreement on that. So what's the answer?
Then he is in the right way, because if there's no agreement, then it must have been a surprise to him.
Who cares if it's a surprise if she's an opera singer and she's just singing? People sing in the shower.
I say it's at the owner's discretion ultimately, and also I'm sure there's some kind of city noise ordinance as well.
But she's not like breaking glass. She's just she's an opera singer. I mean, is she not allowed to practice her art for an hour in the house she rents?
I think she should be allowed to practice for an hour in the house that she rents if there was no agreement set.
I'm pro opera singer on this, right? Okay, going inside the courtroom.
So let's talk about expectations and factually what happens after that. I'm the mother of 3 singers, and there have been times where I have begged them to stop singing. And I love hearing my daughters sing. They're my daughters. I love hearing them sing. And the little one will just look at me stunned and say, but you're my mother. Like, she's mortified. But I go, yes, but I have to think. And so I do understand that could be disturbing. I just don't understand why things fell apart so quickly, because there could have been an accommodation reached, but there wasn't. Now, if I needed to do this 1 hour, I would make sure every roommate from now on, in writing, agrees that between X and Y, I am allowed to, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's just advice for you for the future, so that nobody can get mad or have the wrong expectation or kick you out, which is what you say happened.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So after she said, you have no freedom here, and no saying how things go, you said it twice.
Okay, but don't argue with each other again. Go on.
I went back into my room, and then I got texts to say that I had to leave as soon as possible.
May I see those texts?
Yes.
Do you have them in your phone is how I'd
do.
like to see them. Did you tell her you have to leave ASAP? Oh, you can just stay in your place.
I said that she had until May 1st to leave, which was 2 weeks. I would never kick anyone out on the streets and tell them they have to leave immediately.
Okay.
I said in the text, you have until May 1st to leave, if not sooner.
If not sooner. And
Meaning,
then did you also send another text that said ASAP?
Yeah, as soon as possible.
Okay, so then what is the problem? She did leave, and then you won't return the security deposit. Why?
Because I have to pay her rent.
Well, then don't tell her to leave. You told her to leave.
I never said that day.
Wait, no, and hold on. You have to pay her rent. She paid her rent. She was up to date on rent, right? She wasn't behind on rent.
Actually, the day she left, rent was due.
The day after.
Oh, you picked a hell of a day to tell her to leave then.
It was the day after.
Wait, no, stop. I do not need your help. I'm talking to you now and just you. So you tell her on the day rent is due or the day before, you have to leave by X date or sooner. And then you also say, you need to leave ASAP. I no longer feel safe with you here. And you need to leave ASAP. I'm sorry it came to this, but I don't feel respected. You'll find something. Okay, great. Do you have a right to do that? If she felt like staying a whole month, she could, because you're supposed to give her notice. You guys are from New York. The landlord has to give the tenant notice. Let's start with that she doesn't have to give you any notice, because you're a borough of New York City, where a tenant does not have to give notice. It's the only place I know of where that's the case. But let's assume she had to give you notice. Who on earth has to give you notice when you tell them, get out ASAP?
I gave her 2 weeks.
Then you said, get out ASAP, and it's not up to you. 2 weeks or sooner, and she picked sooner. What right do you have to the security deposit? I'll tell you what right. 0! You need to give it back to her. $1,150 verdict for the plaintiff.
So the defendant's going to have to give that money back. You know, I was watching you. You saw that was coming, didn't you?
Yes.
How'd she sound when she was singing?
It was okay. It just got tiring after 30 days in a row.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You must sign some documents on your way out.
All right,
okay?
thanks.
Thank you. Nicola, how are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
Feeling better now?
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. No reason to be nervous. You're going to get your money back.
I know, that's nice, but I would rather have not had to go through this.
I know. I'm surprised you did. At least you know about small claims court.
I do, yeah.
They don't have this in England, do they? Or do they?
I don't think they do. I've never been to court before in my life.
Never?
Never,
You
no.
did well. How did you do with your auditions? You came to audition? Anything happened?
No, not yet, but I might have an audition for Phantom of the Opera in a couple of weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear from my agent.
Okay.
So that will be good.
Good. That'll be great. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, you may have legal rights, but if you give up those rights, it's called waiving your rights. You can't go back and say, I want to keep them again.